So guys, here if you're talking about the routing, so routing is a pattern matching system that monitor the incoming request and figure out what to do with the request. So every time when in ASP.NET Core you are making a request, that request first time is handled by the routing system. The routing system decide what to do with that request. So you can say typically it is a way to serve the user request. This is a typical diagram to understand the flow. So when you are making the request, it is handled by the routing system. Then if the the request is going to be processed, so it then go to the controller. Controller execute it with the help of model, and whatever the result is prepared, it render through the view into the browser. So this is the typical flow for the routing. And if you're talking about the request handling, so how it is handling by the routing engine here. So incoming request having a pattern. So whatever the URL we have, that URL first of all is going to be passed. Then from the parsing URL, we just try to find out the matching route. If route is available, then it process the request. If the route is not available, then it return for not for error. So this is a typical way to handle the request by the routing engine. And if you're talking about the types of routing, in ASP.NET Core, we have two types of routing: convention-based routing and attribute routing. In MVC5 also we have two types of routing. So exactly same way we have in ASP.NET Core as well. And now let's understand how we can configure the convention-based routing. So this is a simple route here, which we are defining here as per the syntax of convention-based routing. So in convention-based routing, we define the route name, we define the template. So in the template, you can pass the controller action or whatever the root parameter you want to mention, you can mention here. And here if you will see, we are assigning the default value for controller, default value for action, and ID is here optional. So it's up to you whether you want to pass the ID or not. And as per this define route, if let's say you have a product controller, so in the product controller, the generated URL for the different action would be like this. So let's say if there is a index action, so for the index action, don't need to pass the action name because already as per my default route, the action value is index. So I can access it directly by using domain.com/product. But if you will pass index as well, then it will also work. But without passing index, it will also work. For accessing the create action, you have to pass product, then create as a action name. And if you will see here, we are not passing the ID parameter in the first two methods, but in the third I'm passing the ID because ID is optional. And you know guys, if in the third method, if you will not pass the ID, so it will be received as a zero value. So in the edit method, you will get the ID as zero if you will not pass the ID. So there is a difference here in MVC5 and ASP.NET Core. If the ID will not pass in MVC5, then you will get the exception. But in ASP.NET Core, you will not get any exception if you will not pass the ID. Here we are getting the zero value, but in MVC5 you will get the exception, like a null value cannot be typecast into the integer. So this is a difference here. So now here let's see how we can create the project and how we can define the routes for our ASP.NET Core application. And one more thing you should know here, like whatever the root parameters name we have, same parameter you have to receive in the action. So ID name should be ID only. I cannot access the ID value with the name my ID, unlike product ID. So what are the root parameters we have, with the same parameter we have to access the value. So now let's create a project using a Visual Studio. So I'm not using here VS Code. We will use only Visual Studio 2017. But if you are using the Ubuntu like Linux and Unix, so there you can use the VS Code and the .NET CLI for getting the project and for running. On the Mac, we have the Visual Studio for Mac. So there you can use Visual Studio for Mac for creating the application, just like we are creating for Visual Studio for Windows. So let's create a new project here. So File, New Project. Now I just select the .NET Core. There is option here for creating the ASP.NET Core web application. Specify the location. So I'm just using here code, then weekend, and let define my application name web app routing. So this is application name. It can be anything. Now these are the available templates we can use. So I'm just using here the web application using the MVC pattern. Now just click on the OK button. So now if you will see here, it's created a typical ASP.NET Core application by using the MVC pattern. So if you will look into the startup.cs file, so where you will find out all the routes for your application. So here I can define here more than one route as well as per requirement. Let's say I'm defining here a one more route. I don't know guys, when you're defining the route, so route name should be unique. Even its template should also be unique. So let's say I'm putting here site as a hard code. And in this site route, I'm just changing the sequence of action and controller as well. Even I'm not passing the default value for my action and the default value for my controller, and ID I'm also not defining. So this is a new route I have defined where name is default one. This is a template. I don't know guys, the routes are exactly same as we have the routes in our real life. Let's say we have two places, place A and place B. So between place and place B, we have the multiple routes in a real life. So it's up to you what route you are following for going from place A to place B. Same way, it's up to you what route you are following to access any page in your ASP.NET Core application. So now you have two choices. Either follow the default one route, either follow the default route. So if you will see here, we have so many action here. So we have the index action in the home controller. So this index action I can call by following the default route or by following the default one route. So now let's run the application and see how I can access this action by following the one of the route. So this page is coming as per the default route here, because in the default route we have mentioned the default value for controller as home and action as index. So automatically is going to pick up the home controller index section. But the same page I can access by passing the complete path. Let's say controller name as home, action name as index. It is also coming. And the same page I can access by following the default one route. And as per the default one route, first we need to pass the action, then we have to pass the controller, and we have to pass the site as a hard code as well, this way. So this is also the same page we are accessing, but this time we are following the different route. So it's up to you what route you are following, and as per the route you have to pass the parameter as well. And guys, here sometimes there might be the requirement you have to pass more than one parameter. Let's say we need to pass category ID as well. We need to pass product ID as well. So here we can mention more than one parameter. So if there is a requirement, so what I can do, let's say I can define here one more route for the, let's say, product. So I'm just mentioning here controller action, then it's a category ID, and then there is a product ID. It might be the case you need to create one more route for the employees as well. So I'm defining here, let's say, for employees. But here in case of employee, let's say in place of category, there is a department ID. So now guys, when you're defining the routes, so every route should have the unique pattern. It should have the unique template. If two route templates are matching with each other, so what will happen? only the first root will be useful. Like the second root pattern would be useless. So in this case, this product and the employees having the same template. Here also we have the 4 mandatory parameters. But if you will see, in the default one root, we have the 3 mandatory parameters. And the default root, we have the 2 mandatory parameters and third is optional. So somehow, so far, all the roots having the different template, but now these two roots having the same template. So what will happen every time, whatever the request you are trying to access by passing the 4 mandatory parameter, it try to serve as per the template product, not as per the template employees. The same I can show you here. So to experience this one, let's add two controller. One controller I'm adding for product and one controller I'm adding for employee. So let's define the controller name as product. Let's say here I'm just receiving the category ID as integer. I'm receiving the product ID as integer. Then I'm just showing the product listing page. So it is here, let's say product dash index product. Yes, sir. Now I'm adding here one more controller for, let's say, employees. And employee also we are receiving two parameters, let's say integer department ID, integer employee ID. And let's say at the view here for employee, that would be the employee index. Now I'm putting here the breakpoint in employee controller. I'm putting the breakpoint in my product controller as well. So now let's see how we can access these two parameters values when we are requesting the product controller and when we are requesting the employee controller. Let's run the code. So I can access my product controller by passing the product ID as, let's say, 1. Sorry, category ID as 1. It should be here index. And then, so 1 is category ID and 4 is product ID. Let's enter it. If you will see, I'm getting the 1 as category ID and 4 as a product ID. So perfectly it is working fine. So it's served the request as per this product route. Now let's continue. Now let's see how we can access the employee detail. So the pattern is almost same, but controller name is different only. Enter it. So you will see I'm getting the department ID as 0. ID is 4. So what is happening? It is not passing the department ID. The reason is here. It's serving the request as per this product route, and in this product route template, third parameter name is cat ID, not the DPT ID. So if you want to serve this, if you want to retrieve the department ID, so parameter name we have to change. So if I will change the parameter name from DPT ID to cat ID, it will work fine with the employee as well. So this is the case I just shown to you. So make sure every route is having the different pattern. But sometimes it's a requirement. You can say it's a need, like two controller or action having the same root parameters, the same template pattern, but parameter name might be different there. In that case, the attribute routing will help you. So what you can do here, this issue I can solve here using the attribute routing. So this is useless, so I am commenting this one. But using the attribute routing, I can access my parameter name with the same value. So I'm just defining a root, and the root just define your root pattern. Let's say I'm just passing controller name as employee index, then dpt id, and then id. So now I can access it by using the same way. So now we are using here attribute routing. So attribute routing we configure at the action label and even at the controller level. So you can see this is the various routes we can define using the attribute routing. So here in ASP.NET Core, we can define the multiple routes for a single action. So here I can define a route using empty string. I can define by passing only action name because you will see there is a route at the top level as well. So if you are comparing this syntax with MVC5, in MVC5 we have the route prefix at the controller level, but in ASP.NET Core we don't have the route prefix at the controller level. Even I cannot define a route as a empty string in MVC5, but here I can define. So even if you will see, I can define here multiple routes as well for a single action. So such things are possible in ASP.NET Core, but these things are not supported in MVC5. So I can say ASP.NET Core having the some advanced configuration which are not available in MVC5. And even in MVC Core, we have the option like using the square bracket without passing the controller name and action name. I can define like this way. So this syntax might be looking to you just like we have the syntax in convention based routing. So for each and every action, you don't need to define the things as we have defined in the left hand side example. Now you have to just define the parameter in the curly braces. So automatically it is going to serve all the action within this controller as per this route pattern. So it will controller name should be here products, action name, let's say list, edit. If there is a parameter, the parameter you have to just mention here. So there is a shorthand syntax to define the route for your multiple action. So this syntax is not supported in MVC5, but in ASP.NET Core it is supported. So now let's see how I can get the department ID and the employee ID here. So let's run the code and see. So now we can access the employee. So now you can see here I'm getting the department ID is 1 now and ID is 4 now. It is working fine. Even in case of convention based routing, there is a way to define the different route. Like sometimes we need to define the SEO friendly URL as well. So that can also we can define it, let's say AMP show dash details. This way I can access. Or I can access only, let's say show dash details like EMP. It's up to what pattern you want to make. I don't need to mention the controller name directly. I'm just using employee dash show dash details. So now as it is coming here, department ID is 2, ID is 5. So in this way I can also access the action. So this is about the attribute routing. You can access the things.